Hi, welcome to Audible. Today I'll read Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows by Joanne K. Rowling. And I'll be reading my favorite part from The Flaw in the Plan, page 590 onwards. Let's go! Harry felt as though he turned in slow motion. He saw McGonagall, Kingsley, and Slughorn blasted backwards, flailing and writhing through the air, as Voldemort's fury at the fall of his last best lieutenant exploded with the force of a bomb. Voldemort raised his wand and directed it at Molly Weasley. "Portigo!" roared Harry, and the shield charm expanded in the middle of the hall, and Voldemort stared around for the source as Harry pulled off the invisibility cloak at last. The yell of shock, the cheers, the screams on every side of "Harry! He's alive!" were stifled at once. The crowd was afraid, and silence fell abruptly and completely as Voldemort and Harry looked at each other and began, at the same moment, to circle each other. "I don't want anyone else to try to help," Harry said loudly, and in the total silence his voice carried like a trumpet call. "It's got to be like this. It's got to be me," Voldemort hissed. "Potter doesn't mean that," he said, his red eyes wide. "That isn't how it works, is it? Who are you going to use as a shield today, Potter?" "Nobody," said Harry simply. "There are no more Horcruxes. It's just you and me. Neither can live while the other survives, and one of us is about to leave for good." "One of us?" jeered Voldemort, and his whole body was taut and his red eyes stared, a snake that was about to strike. "You think it will be you, do you? The boy who has survived by accident. And because Dumbledore was pulling the strings?" "Accident, was it? When my mother died to save me?" asked Harry. Oh, this is my favorite part. They were still moving sideways, both of them, in that perfect circle, maintaining the same distance from each other, and for Harry no face existed but Voldemort's. "Accident, when I decided to fight in that graveyard? Accident, that I didn't defend myself tonight and still survived and returned to fight again?" "Accidents!" screamed Voldemort. But still he did not strike, and the watching crowd was frozen, as if petrified, and of the hundreds in the hall, nobody seemed to breathe but they too. "Accident and chance and the fact that you crouched and sniveled behind the skirts of greater men and women and permitted me to kill them for you." "You won't be killing anyone else tonight," said Harry as they circled and stared into each other's eyes, green into red. "You won't be able to kill any of them ever again. Don't you get it? I was ready to die to stop you hurting these people, but you did not, and I meant to, and that's what did it. I've done what my mother did. They're protected from you. Haven't you noticed how none of the spells you put on them are binding? You can't torture them. You can't touch them. You don't learn for your mistakes, Riddle, do you?" "You dare!" "Yes, I dare," said Harry. "I know things you don't know, Tom Riddle. I know lots of important things that you don't. Want to hear some before you make another big mistake?" Voldemort did not speak, but prowled in a circle, and Harry knew that he kept him temporarily mesmerized and at bay, held back by the faintest possibility that Harry might indeed know a final secret. "Is it love again?" said Voldemort, his snake's face jeering. "Dumbledore's favorite solution, love, which he claimed conquered death, though love did not stop him from falling from the tower and breaking like an old waxwork. Love, which did not prevent me stamping out your mudblood mother like a cockroach, Potter." And nobody seems to love you enough to run forward this time and take my curse. So what will stop you dying now when I strike?" "Just one thing," said Harry. And still they circled each other, wrapped in each other. This sounds a lot like a romance novel. Held apart by nothing but the last secret. "If it is not love that will save you this time," said Voldemort, "you must believe that you have magic I do not. Or else a weapon more powerful than mine." "I believe both," said Harry. And he saw shock flit across the snake-like face, though it was instantly dispelled. Voldemort began to laugh, and the sound was more frightening than his screams. Humorless and insane, it echoed around the silent hall. "You think you know more magic than I do?" he said. Than Lord Voldemort, who has performed magic that Dumbledore himself never dreamed of?" "Oh, he dreamt of it," said Harry. "But he knew more than you, knew enough not to do what you've done." "You mean he was weak?" screamed Voldemort. "Too weak to dare, too weak to take what might have been his, what will be mine." "No, he was cleverer than you," said Harry. "A better wizard, a better man. I brought about the death of Albus Dumbledore." "You thought you did," said Harry, "but you were wrong." For the first time, the watching crowd stirred as the hundreds of people around the walls drew breath as one. "Dumbledore is dead!" Voldemort hurled the words at Harry as though they would cause him unendurable pain. "His body decays in the marble tomb in the grounds of this castle. I have seen it, Potter, and he will not return." "Yes, Dumbledore's dead," said Harry calmly. "But you didn't have him killed. He chose his own manner of dying. Chose it months before he died. Arranged the whole thing with the man you thought was your servant." "What childish dream is this?" said Voldemort. But still he did not strike, and his red eyes did not waver from Harry's. "Severus Snape wasn't yours," said Harry. "Snape was Dumbledore's. Dumbledore's from the moment you started hunting down my mother. And you never realized it, because of the thing you can't understand. You never saw Snape cast a Patronus, did you, Riddle?" Voldemort did not answer. They continued to circle each other like wolves about to tear each other apart. "Snape's Patronus was a doe," said Harry. "The same as my mother's, because he loved her for nearly all his life, from the time when they were children. You should have realized," he said, as he saw Voldemort's nostrils flare. "He asked you to spare her life, didn't he?" Oh wow, I'm getting goosebumps. "He desired her, that was all," sneered Voldemort. "But when she had gone, he agreed that there were other women, and of pure blood, worthier of him." "Of course he told you that," said Harry. "But he was Dumbledore's spy from the moment you threatened her. And he's been working against you ever since. Dumbledore was already dying when Snape finished him." "It matters not!" shrieked Voldemort, who had followed every word with rapt attention, but now let a cackle of mad laughter. "It matters not whether Snape was mine or Dumbledore's, or what petty obstacles they tried to put in my path. I crushed them as I crushed your mother. Snape's supposed great love! Oh, but it all makes sense, Potter, and in ways that you do not understand. Dumbledore was trying to keep the Elder Wand from me. He intended that Snape would be the true master of the wand, but I got there ahead of you, little boy. I reached the wand before you could get your hands on it. I understood the truth before you caught up. I killed Severus Snape 3 hours ago, and the Elder Wand, the Death Stick, the Wand of Destiny is truly mine. Dumbledore's last plan went wrong, Harry Potter." "Yeah, it did," said Harry. "You're right. But before you try to kill me, I'd advise you to think about what you've done. Think, and try for some remorse, Riddle." "What is this?" Of all the things that Harry had said to him, beyond any revelation or taunt, nothing had shocked Voldemort like this. Harry saw his pupils contract to thin slits, saw the skin around his eyes whiten. "It's your one last chance," said Harry. "It's all you've got left. I've seen what you'll be otherwise. Be a man. Try. Try for some remorse, you dare!" said Voldemort again. "Yes, I dare," said Harry, "because Dumbledore's last plan hasn't backfired on me at all. It's backfired on you, Riddle." Voldemort's hand was trembling on the Elder Wand, and Harry gripped Draco's very tightly. The moment, he knew, was seconds away. "That wand still isn't working properly for you because you murdered the wrong person. Severus Snape was never the true master of the Elder Wand. He never defeated Dumbledore. He killed— Aren't you listening? Snape never beat Dumbledore!" That came out a bit weird. "Snape never beat Dumbledore. Dumbledore's death was planned between them. Dumbledore intended to die undefeated. The wand's last true master. If all had gone as planned, the wand's power would have died with him, because it had never been won from him. But then, Potter, Dumbledore as good as gave me the wand." No, I should say it again. "But then, Potter, Dumbledore as good as gave me the wand." Voldemort's voice shook with malicious pleasure. "I stole the wand from its last master's tomb. I removed it against its last master's wishes. Its power is mine." "You still don't get it, Riddle, do you? Possessing the wand isn't enough. Holding it, using it, doesn't make it really yours. Didn't you listen to Ollivander? The wand chooses the wizard. The Elder Wand recognized a new master before Dumbledore died. Someone who never even laid a hand on it. The new master removed the wand from Dumbledore against his will, never realizing exactly what he had done, or that the world's most dangerous wand had given him its allegiance." Voldemort's chest rose and fell rapidly, and Harry could feel the curse coming, feel it building inside the wand pointed at its face. The true master of the Elder Wand was Draco Malfoy. Blank shock showed in Voldemort's face for a moment, but then it was gone. "But what does it matter?" he said softly. "Even if you are right, Potter, it makes no difference to you and me. You no longer have the Phoenix Wand. We duel on skill alone. And after I have killed you, I can attend to Draco Malfoy." "But you're too late," said Harry. "You've missed your chance. I got there first. I overpowered Draco weeks ago. I took this wand from him." Harry twirled the hawthorn wand, and he felt the eyes of everyone in the hall upon it. "So it all comes down to this, doesn't it?" whispered Harry. "Does the wand in your hand know its last master was disarmed? Because if it does, I am the true master of the Elder Wand." A red gold glow burst suddenly across the enchanted sky above them, as an edge of dazzling sun appeared over the sill of the nearest window. The light hit both of their faces at the same time, so that Voldemort's was suddenly a flaming blur. Harry heard the high voice shriek as he, too, yelled his best hope to the heavens, pointing Draco's wand. "Avada Kedavra! Expelliarmus!" This is the end of my book recording session. Woo! Honestly, my favorite part of that book was actually because of the dialogue in between Harry and Voldemort, where they unraveled every plot string that I could see and couldn't see at the same time. And it made so much sense, especially at that point when Harry's talking about, is it an accident that I've been loved and all these people has actually helped me, and that I chose to fight for them, I chose to protect them. And again, when Harry says, try for some remorse, Voldemort, because it shows that he okay, he did resent Voldemort, but he wasn't willing to have another person go down this dark path that splitting your soul 8 times would do. And I know it's not 7 times, it's 8 times, because all that theory about Harry becoming a Horcrux when Voldemort killed him, it's also written in the book. Get your facts straight. So it struck a chord within me, because it was just like, Harry hated Voldemort. He should have hated him for all this suffering he's caused, not only for him and his family, but his friends and the wizarding world, the wizarding population in general. But he was just like, Voldemort, I'll give you a chance. Please just regret what you've done, think back on it, reflect, and when you do, you'll become a new man. All your past sins will unravel itself with the magic you have, and you can survive. You can be whole again. You don't have to live forever. We don't have to be facing each other on this god-forsaken path, circling each other like vultures until that Avada Kedavra and Expelliarmus comes to light. But no, that did not happen, and I kind of regret it. Like, when I first read this, which was 4 years ago, I was just really happy that Voldemort got what was coming to him. But now rereading only that segment again and practically forgetting most of the atrocities Voldemort has done in between all the different types of books. But everyone deserves like a second chance or third chance, which was what I suppose Dumbledore was aiming for. It's a shame that one of like a great wizard, one of the most brilliant wizards, not of all time, but to ever have lived in that decade or century, besides Dumbledore, Voldemort, Tom Marvolo Riddle. It was such a shame that he couldn't have been like the next great Merlin. He had so much potential, but he chose to like walk down this path, and he chose not to be remorseful about all the people he's murdered and stuff like that. So it was really, it gave me the friggin' shivers, and it's like, every time I read that passage, I just have to think about it. It's amazing, because J.K. Rowling's book about Harry Potter, the series Harry Potter, is about really the magic of friendship and the magic of love, and what friendship can build you up and also tear you down, and love is actually like the root emotion for many things, and it's one of the most powerful magic because it's innate, except in Tom Marvolo Riddle, because he was a piece of ass before everything. But like, moment of silence for how amazing this whole series is, and to this date it's probably the only series I've read about 7 times. It was also like the first kind of book to impact me really strongly, and like 7 books, several thousand pages built up for this one particular moment in time. Like, not okay, I won't say that because it sounds like I'm generalizing, but the ending of Voldemort and the ending of Harry's struggle with the main antagonist, it was beautifully written, and I could feel it, like every fiber within me could feel this conflict, could feel satisfied about how it's ending. And then the epilogue ruined it, but that's for another day. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye bye.